All right, welcome everybody to this episode of O365A. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about something that's talked a lot about in the Microsoft circles, Copilot agents. So specifically, we're going to demo creating your own custom Copilot agent in the Copilot app. That's the main app, also known as bizchat. So just to level set before we turn it over to Dino to give us a little demo, what are Copilot agents? Well, they're specialized AI assistants, and they're designed to enhance the capabilities of Microsoft 365 Copilot. And specifically, you can ground them in a certain set of data or enable them to do a specific task. And they can integrate with your Microsoft 365 ecosystem, with other applications, other data sets to accomplish something very specific. Usually that thing is something that's repetitive or time consuming, basically anything that can be automated with an AI assistant. So there's a number of different ways to create Copilot agents, and it varies from sort of very simple starter agents to more complex. One of the easiest ways, which was recently introduced, is, as I mentioned, right in the Copilot app, you can create a custom agent. So Dino, I think you're going to walk us through creating one of these.
Yeah. Thanks, Kurt. So I'm right within the Teams client here under the Copilot app. I could have also logged into copilot.microsoft.com and access the same page here, but I'm already in Teams. It's kind of nice to be able to use it here. So you'll see now that we have exposure to agents in here. And so I'm going to just click on Create an Agent and have a couple of options. You can either describe the agent you want to build, or you can dive right in and do some manual configuration in here. We're just going to say, I'd like to create an agent on Teams Phone. So we want to build a Teams Phone agent, for example, to help us do some Teams Phone configuration. So once you do that, it says great. The create button lights up. I'm going to go ahead and hit create. Let that do its thing. And once it's sort of creating the baseline for this, we'll be able to open it up and make some custom configurations to it.
And I see, Dino, that there's some templates that you could get started with. I guess those templates probably include starter prompts and just basic configurations.
Yeah, you can see a few of them there: career coach, prompt coach, writing coach, all labeled Microsoft. So you certainly feel free to use the base templates. So you can see here the agent was created. It gives you a bit of a GUID to tell you if you wanted to embed this somewhere else. So I'm going to click Go to Agent, I'm going to go back and just let's have a look at what it's done. So if I come in here, I've got my Copilot agent. I've previously created one, so let's have a look. So I haven't given it a name. We called it Teams Voice Agent. I'm going to rename that to Teams Phone Expert. And there's a description here. It says it's going to provide some guidance, and it's pre-populated a bunch of instructions to ground the LLM. So, provide detailed guidance on Teams voice deployments, offer best practices, that type of thing. And interestingly, it's got, site content from, learn.microsoft.com. I don't know if there was anything else you wanted to add to this. We could put that in here to build it out. So if there was something really specific in terms of how you wanted to ground it, you would add it to these instructions here. So I want to pull content from learn.microsoft.com, not just from any non-Microsoft site. So that's important to include there.
So Dino, I was just wondering, in this particular case, given that because you're doing voice, right? You've done a ton of these deployments and stuff like that before, right? So, I mean, arguably you would have like a repository of some documentation and stuff like that you worked on previously that you could probably train in this case, right?
Yeah, perfect segue into this knowledge area here, where I can literally point it to a SharePoint site that's internal to our organization that has the document repository of every single Teams phone design doc or every customer design doc that we've done, and then it can pull all that intellectual property and help craft your answers. So you can see here that you can browse to your SharePoint sites and just select the content, and it can be any one of these document types listed here. So PowerPoints, HTMLs, text files, so on and so forth. So I don't see PDFs in here, but we'll have to check that and add it to the notes if those are ingestible. But obviously your source Word docs, any PowerPoints you've created are going to be available to you. Just scrolling down a bit here.
The actions look interesting.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, Copilot, deploy my Teams phone project and enable my users.
Yeah, these are obviously coming soon, but we'll anxiously await what the capabilities will be there. There's an image generator that you can use to create visual aids and art. Not going to turn that on for here. And then you can see here,
I just want to add, sorry, Dina, I just want to ask, if you wanted to contain everything just inside of your knowledge, like within your SharePoint site, right? You would turn off the web content toggle just to say like I'm only looking at internal stuff versus have it also look at web content.
Correct. Yeah. So that's a great point as well. So if you didn't want it to reference any of the web content, you could just say, I just want you to pull answers from SharePoint, then that might be ideal. Obviously, with the Learn in terms of Teams Phone, with the, there's constantly documentation updates, so you might want to keep that. But we could have easily been designing maybe an HR agent here, correct? And that information wouldn't have existed on the web, nor would we want it to go out to the web. We want it to exclusively pull from our documentation. So you might want to turn this off here and then enter a site. So it's a good call out.
Yeah, I think it's important to know like where you want kind of your source of truth to come from, right? So if you're defining it in that way, then you'd if you just want to have internally and just say like, we're only training this agent with internal documents, so the source of truth is from our our internal documentation, right?
Yeah, for sure. Just a quick note on those actions, because actions are really powerful. Of course, they give the agent the ability to actually just go out and do stuff to integrate with other applications, not just answer questions about information repositories. So you can, as it says there, go into the full Copilot Studio experience and add actions, create agents that can do things. We demoed that on previous episode.
Yeah,
but
that's right.
What I love about this is the fact you can just go in and get started right away, really quick and easy.
Yeah. So you can see it's gone ahead and just taken the liberty of building out these starter prompts. And, if you didn't like any, you can delete them and then add your own. And it gives you a bit of a preview here of what that's going to look like. And then you can even trial this without publishing it right from here. So tell me. You can just simply type a message, tell me how to set up direct routing for 10 users, and you can just test it out here, and it's going to give you some topics. So I'm going to go ahead and just update this and show you what it looks like from the main Copilot page. So obviously it's taking all of this, processing it. Now I can go to my agents. So now I'm still in Copilot, and you can select your agents here, and you can see those same starter prompts here. I can bring them up by hitting the view prompts as well. So you could just say, well, how do I if I want to look at some best practices, I can just click on that. It pre-fills that prompt, and I can just hit go.
Dina, when you create this agent, if you're in the main Copilot prompting screen, if you ask it something about Teams, does it give you an option to switch to your agent?
That's a great question. I guess we could try. So navigate away just into Copilot.
Yeah.
I think you need to be in the context of the agent for it to answer specifically about what
I
Dino
think so
just
as well. But we'll see if Copilot recognizes that I have an agent, or even ask it. And here it's giving, you can tell here it's specifically looking at some of my SharePoint sites, so that's probably not.
Is it maybe the act or something? I thought you could call the agent from within the main. Like in the, yeah.
I don't see it listed here, but let's see.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's the act, the first icon. Yeah.
There we
There
go.
you go.
So you can call
there
it
you go.
this way. So I can ask it, tell me about shared devices. So now it's prompting that agent. So that's a good call out as well. Yeah, so that's, you know, and you're at liberty to go back and make updates to it as you need to. So I think that's pretty neat. So I can certainly see a lot of use cases, probably more. I mean, this was a simple one where we were just pointing to Microsoft Learn Docs, but if you had a huge repository of HR data, as we were talking about earlier, this would be quite useful.
And in case there's any doubt, so Dino, you're in Microsoft Teams using the main Copilot bizchat app in Teams, but this is the same experience in the in the regular Copilot bizchat app outside of Teams, right?
Yeah, that's right. You can just access this same page from a web browser as well. Copilot.microsoft.com.
Nice. Well, that's super. We'll keep that short and sweet. Lots of different use cases come to mind as you walk through that demo. So powerful stuff. Really look forward to those actions being embedded right in the bizchat app. That'll be super powerful too. All right, folks. Well, hope that was useful, and we'll talk to you in the next episode.